You want to know what the difference is between the people who are able to leave the U.S. and thrive abroad and those who are not? It's who is willing to let go of the American dream. Now, I know logically we get that, right? A lot of us are coming to increasing awareness of the scam of the American dream. It's disappointing. It hurts, right? Because most of us grew up aspiring to the American dream and we never questioned it. And I think that's why it's so hard to let go of. And for those of you who want to leave the U.S. and move abroad, I want you to challenge some of the questions and concerns that you have that are limiting you and keeping you from pursuing this path. We have to recognize that the American dream is not just a slogan. The American dream is something that we have been indoctrinated with for centuries, to the point that we have never questioned what it really is. We have only challenged ourselves or critiqued ourselves based on whether we could achieve it or not. Those are two very different things, and we're in a different space in American history right now, where we as a people are starting to make choices for ourselves and not be guided and our outcomes dictated by this system that has defined what happiness and success is for us. And so you have to be willing to, and first aware of the indoctrination. You have to accept the fact that you did not decide what success was. You did not decide what the goal was in life. You are just a participant in a process that was not designed by you and not designed for you. And until you are willing to accept that truth, you will have a hard time seeing a vision for your life that is not the American dream. And that is going to be a huge obstacle in you taking this huge leap to live your life abroad. But what you have to know and understand, because there have been so many examples of people like myself and others who have escaped, that a mental shift and mindset change is possible. So the challenge for you today is, I want you to redefine what the American dream is for you. This is before you start planning, right? Because so many of you are planning to just go to another country and carry the American dream in your luggage with you, right? So many of you have this idea that the first thing I need to do is buy a house and buy a car. Did you know that statistically in many countries, especially many of the most desirable countries for Americans to live, that in many places it's not unlikely for 80 to 90% of the population to rent long term? It's not unlikely for places where Americans do want to buy homes. Yes, cash is considerably an option, right, for people who have the cash. But some go through remember, countries have their own credit mindset, or their credit policy, or their credit process is the better word, right? That's not based on the U.S. credit score. If you saw my video, 3 things you don't need to leave the U.S., the U.S. credit score is not used in many countries around the world. They don't care. The U.S. criteria doesn't matter. They manage their economy and their business and their livelihoods and their accommodations in their own ways. And so if you try to take this American defined dream to another country, you're going to be disappointed. Because you're going to be trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. A round hole. You need to open your mind to the possibilities. So as you're evaluating different countries, you need to figure out, what does the housing profile look like for transplants, for expats, immigrants? Y'all can debate between that. But the point is, a foreigner. You weren't born there. You weren't raised there, and now you want to live there. So you are going to have to open your mind to how they do things. We as Americans have to get out of the habit of shoving our conditions, our criteria, our brainwashing down other countries and people's throats. They're not going to tolerate it, and nor should you with your sore throat. Listen, American Dream is not serving us. It's not. So I want you to recognize in this moment that the American Dream, the way it's been defined, is not going to work for you abroad. Be open to the idea that buying a home is not what you want. Be open to the idea that buying a car is not what you need. Be open to the idea that if you want to buy a home, your income, your job, and your rental history may be what all is needed for you to get that opportunity to get that loan, right? Or that maybe some larger lump sum payments is also a way that housing is done in other countries. Listen, I'm not going to go through the laundry list because there's so many options, right? And I'm not going to debate with people who say, yes, this X country uses U.S. Credit Bureau. Okay. What I'm talking about is possibilities. My goal here is to help you realize that there are options outside of what you've been brainwashed to believe, which is that the American dream is the only path to happiness. There are countries out there that do not use the U.S. Credit Bureau or credit system. You have options and possibilities. You just have to be willing to open your mind, willing to do some research, really willing to consider maybe countries that aren't as popular as what many people talk about, right? Be careful of jumping on the bandwagon of what everybody else wants to do. That whole top 5 countries. Listen. I've run into some key information. And there's some countries out there that are not on that top 5 list that are better suited for folks who want something a little different and want an easier path to it. So keep this in mind. Redefine. You have to rewrite your American dream if you want to live abroad. I'm an example. Many of us who have left are examples. It's possible. You just have to be willing to make different decisions.
Here's the truth, calm and simple. The American dream wasn't designed to last forever. It worked in a different time, under different conditions. But now, it's outdated, and the people who see it early, they don't panic. They pivot. Most people still trying to force something that's breaking, but a small group, they're stepping back, looking at the world differently, different countries, different income streams, different lifestyles, same world, different positioning. And yeah, once you see it like that, you can't really unsee it. And that's where everything starts to change. If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you already know what this is about. This channel is for people who feel like life isn't supposed to be this limited. People who want options, people who want freedom, people who want to build a life outside the system. If that sounds like you, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel is about relocation, financial independence, mindset, and building a life overseas. If you're serious about leaving the United States and creating a life abroad, I put everything on my website. That's where I share relocation strategies, country options, income ideas, and long-term planning. You can find the link in the description. And if you want to go deeper into the mindset and skills behind freedom, I've written 3 books that explain the full blueprint. The first book is The Quantum Leap Warrior. This one is about discipline, identity, and becoming the version of yourself capable of change. The second book is The Mugen Forex Trader. This one is for builders, traders, and thinkers who want to design their own systems and use AI to create trading tools. The third book is The Great Exodus. This book explains how to plan your exit, how to relocate overseas, and how to build a life outside the United States. All 3 books are linked in the description, and if one of them helps you, leaving a review on Amazon helps more people find this message. If you want more videos about living abroad, financial freedom, mindset transformation, and leaving the system, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.